Stand-up audio. In studio with me, first at the news desk, a gentleman who has been on the program before under slightly different circumstances. Joe Perro is here. How are you, sir?
Matt, what's happening, brother?
Not too much. How are
man.
you?
Happy
Welcome.
to see you again.
Yes. It's been a while. And on the couch making his debut on the program is Ben Cooper.
Hey, how's it going, Matt?
Good. You look like my uncle. You remind me of my uncle with the beard, and you got that.
As long as I'm not Uncle Fester, that's okay.
No. So we're going to talk with these guys. Really looking forward to this. Well, welcome, guys. We've been playing your tracks for a couple of weeks since you sent them to me. And now, who else is in the band? Who's not here?
Well, let's see. We got Joe Cadrette, who's our drummer.
That's
He's not here.
That's a familiar name. He's been in other bands, I assume.
Yeah. And Heath Ozier, who's our bass player.
Okay.
We refer to Heath as Brother Heath.
I see.
Brother Heath.
He's the man of the church. We haven't called him deacon yet. It's looking that way, though.
Right. So he's working his way up to deacon.
Yes, he is.
Well, very good. Very good. Are any of the rest of you brothers or deacons or anything?
No.
As long as we're getting theological. No, just him.
No.
So how new is this project? Is this pretty new?
Well, it depends on what you consider new.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, less than a year?
Let's see. When did we start this album? Oh, more than a year ago.
More than a year, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because
I'm thinking back to another disc. It was there was a band called All Sevens that formed into this group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was just a different bass player.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what now? So basically, that band around for a while? Because the last time I talked to you, it was, but it's been a few years now, right? It was Pleasant Street Mafia at that time.
Yes, the PSM decided to not quite call it a day, but it's we're not actively doing anything anymore.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a project that had been around for a really long time, from what I remember, right? I mean, that was like years and years. And
good stuff. A required taste. Great audience. Next stepping stone.
Yeah. You've been in a lot of bands, right? Seems like it.
Actually, no, not really. Probably 5.
No,
at the very most.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, how about you, Ben?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 4.
4? Okay.
Not including this.
Right. Oh, okay. Not including this.
Yeah.
Now, have you guys worked together before in a band?
Yes, we have.
Yes.
Okay. Jenny is asking, please repeat the name of the project. So this is Stand-Up Audio.
Yeah.
And do you have a full-length album or EP or what? You sent me 4 tracks, all of which I love, by the way. I love the sound. And,
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a full disc. I believe in putting out a full disc, but only like 9 tunes, at the very most 10, because everyone's attention span is relatively short nowadays.
Yeah.
When people tell me or they give me something that's got 14 songs on it, it's overkill. I mean, I understand that, hey, listen to everything I've done. Well, a lot of it can be filler, or it's just I don't like it.
Yeah.
I think if you keep things to like 8, 9, it's enough.
Well, I remember, like when we were kids, that was kind of, for a long time, that was kind of the standard album length, was 9 or 10 tracks.
Yeah.
And then around late 80s, early 90s, it became, who I think was the first that I vividly remember doing it was Def Leppard when Hysteria came out. So that actually would have been more like mid 80s. All of a sudden, they put out Hysteria. It's got 15 tracks on it. And it's like, oh,
and that
wow.
was a big deal.
And that was a big deal.
Yeah.
And then, but then a few years later, it started to become the normal thing. Like when Kiss put out Kiss is my favorite band, so I work them in whenever I can, any discussion. But when Kiss came out with Hot in the Shade in '89, it was 15 tracks. It was like, wow, they've never done a 15-song album before. Yeah. So for a while, that became the thing. And then it started to sort of normalize again after that period of time where everybody was doing like a lot of because I remember too, people would say, well, all these bands are putting out 15 tracks, 16 tracks. It's too much. It's like, or what's a great example is what's the Guns N' Roses when they put out the Use Your Illusion albums 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I don't know how many. I'm sure you guys have heard it a million times. How many people have said, instead of doing that, they should have just put out one album, just taken the best songs,
from
those
that
two,
and put
just
it out,
put
and
out
then-
one. Yeah.
Do a studio outtakes later with all the other stuff.
Right. Yeah. So I agree with you, Joe. Sometimes less is more, and if you can put out something where there's no filler, that's ideal.
I have to ask you, Matt, did you actually really like Hot in the Shade?
Yes. So
Okay.
I think now I understand why you asked that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like that album. I think it's underrated.
All right.
I think the production could have been better, but we all know the story. A lot of those were demos, and they kind of said, good enough. They recorded it on the cheap. They didn't work with a producer. They did it themselves. I think it could have been better. But hey, I mean that Forever. I mean that went to number 6. That was a huge hit for them.
Right.
Kind of saved the band actually at the time.
All right.
If you think of it that way.
No,
Yeah, okay.
I'll
I
give
can
you
see that.
I'll give you that. The opening song wasn't bad. Rise to It, I thought was cool.
Yeah.
But I stopped at Crazy Nights.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
I tried.
Yeah.
I tried, Matt. But after that, Matt, I didn't get back into it till Revenge.
Okay. Well,
And then after Revenge, I didn't like anything else that they put out.
Revenge is my favorite album of
Really?
Kiss. Yep,
All
that's
right.
my favorite Kiss album. I love Revenge. Love Revenge. Yeah, I never really. But see, I got into Kiss late. For me, Tears Are Falling was the song. So for me it was well into the non-makeup era.
All right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because
All right.
I can trace it back to a specific moment, and my dad will appreciate this because he
Okay.
listens to the show. So what would that have been? 1985. I'm on the living room floor after school,
Okay.
Yep.
watching MTV as one does in 1985.
Yep.
And the video for Tears Are Falling is on, and my dad comes home from work and he kind of pokes his head in the living room. He says, "Maddie, who is this? Is this Kiss?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Yeah, I really like this song." And I said, "Yeah, me too. It's like my favorite song right now." So he made a mental note of that. And for Christmas, he got me Asylum, Kiss Asylum. And it was love. I listened to that and they became my favorite band.
Yep.
And they've been my favorite band ever since.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But you probably makeup era?
There's points all over it. I
Yeah.
burnt them out when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I can listen to and enjoy Dress to Kill on a rainy day. Don't ask me why.
Yeah.
And I can also enjoy Rock and Roll Over. I can't listen to Love Gun or Destroyer.
Really?
I can't listen to Live One, except for Parasite. I like that version.
Yeah. It's a good version.
Yeah.
And none of the solo albums. Unmasked, actually, once in a while, I can handle listening just because I like Anton Fig playing drums.
Yes.
The Elder wasn't bad. I didn't mind it.
I think there's some good stuff on there.
That's an acquired taste, but I like the production off that album.
Yeah.
But
I got
that's
Alive
really
2 when it came out. I think I got Destroyer when it came out too. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, influential, yes, but I burnt them out like I said when I was a kid, and I needed something else, and then MTV comes along.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder if I'd gotten into them early. It's funny. I have memories. I have like a fuzzy memory of going to a friend's house when I was little and seeing like Kiss posters on the wall when they were still in makeup. And I remember being curious about it, but it didn't connect with me. But it was Tears Are Falling. It's the great sing along choruses, and then I just fell in love with that album. But I have a friend though. Well, you might know him. He graduated with you. Do you know Dan Randlett?
Oh yeah. Long time.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, Dan's The Elder is his favorite Kiss album.
Ah, cool.
Yeah. Who does what on in stand up audio?
well, I'm vocals
Your vocals.
and harmonica, tambourine, Yeti, and maracas sometimes.
Okay, Yeti. Oh, there you go.
And I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Not
It's
kidding.
actually in the back of a couple of tracks.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could hear it really well, but we decided to put that in there just for the hell of it.
You're singing on all the tracks.
Yeah.
You got a cool voice, man. I thought on the song we just played, you kind of remind me of David Lee Roth a little bit. Just
Okay, I'll take that as a
just little-
compliment,
not
you
on,
know?
not
No.
on the other, not on the other ones I played, but on that one, there's something DLR about. At least when that first verse hits. What do you do, Joe, in the band?
I was saying, I play guitar, man.
Yeah.
Play guitar, write lyrics, music, and I did the production on that CD.
Okay.
Yep.
I hear the Ace Frehley in your.
I'm sure my
One of the-
influences come up. There's songs that you haven't heard yet.
Yeah.
There's a song called Peter's Girls that does have Kiss influence all over it.
Yeah, it does.
Then I Thin Lizzy'd it a little bit with some harmony, but you could still get away with playing it live.
Yeah. Yeah. I forget which track it was. It was either the first one you sent me, Does It Have to End This Way, or the other one.
Yeah, you're digging that too, man.
I love that song.
Oh, thank you.
Great.
All right.
No, that's awesome. But yeah, there was one of them I remember thinking, yep, that's Ace. I could hear the Ace influence. And I remember too, we had talked about Kiss last time you were here with Pleasant Street Mafia too, because you guys were you were talking about a song that you did that was inspired by a Simple Type, who of course only the most diehard fans would know about that.
Yes. The Wicked Lester.
Yeah.
Yes, took the melody, most of it, and changed the key, and that became a song called I Said Hey.
Yeah. Very cool. No, I like that a lot. And then I remember too, I went back and I went online. I was like, I got to hear a Simple Type again because I hadn't heard any of the Wicked Lester stuff in so long. You know, it's too bad they never did that song as Kiss because that's actually a great track.
It was, when I hear it, it's early 1970s New York AM radio.
Yeah.
And that's the vibe I get from it. And again, it sounds better on a rainy day.
There you go.
Don't ask me why. Certain albums and certain moods and, weather permitting.
Amy Mosley says, ask Ben about Alice Cooper. Another one of my favorites, by the way.
Amy.
Oh, Amy. Yeah. Oh, well, Alice Cooper is somebody that I've enjoyed.
No relation.
No relation. But Amy has been to see him many times.
Yeah.
And she has a tattoo that is Welcome to My Nightmare, except instead of it being Alice, it's Jack Skellington.
Okay.
And at one of the shows that she went to, she was part of the meet and greet. So she had Alice sign his name underneath the tattoo, and she covered it up and went home and had her tattoo artist do the signature.
Nice.
And she found an old copy of Welcome to My Nightmare and took it to another show and had Alice sign that for me.
Oh, wow. Oh, very cool. Very cool.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
How many times has she seen him? Can you put a number on it?
She's seen him at least 4 or 5 times.
Okay. Yeah.
And
yeah.
last summer, I took my son to his first concert.
Yeah.
And so that was Alice.
Very cool.
And he enjoyed the hell out of that.
Very cool. Yeah. I've seen him a few times. Yeah. That's awesome. And Heidi Cooper in the chat room says the band is amazing live. Are you guys playing out a lot?
We only played one show.
We played one show.
Oh, well, but it left an impression on Helen Cooper. Did I say Helen or Heidi?
You said Heidi first, but that's Helen.
Oh, Helen. Yeah, I misread that. I apologize, Helen. Helen Cooper says the band is amazing live. I should have just run with it though and pretended that there was also someone named Heidi in there.
Yeah,
just extra people. So you've played one show so far?
Yep, that was a CD release party.
Oh, okay.
But we're just trying to find. Yes, this works live. You can put us in any venue,
put it
any
out
place,
there,
and it can be done.
Yeah,
in a minimal situation.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
So I think it proved to everyone else that, like, yes, it can be done. Hell, even Ben and I did an acoustic version of 3 of the songs.
Yeah, we did.
And it worked.
Yeah.
It worked, yeah.
That's cool to I've played in some bands, but I've always been envious of bands that are configured in a way where you can play in different configurations like that, because it opens up so many more opportunities when you have something where you can go and do an acoustic set somewhere, if it's not a venue that's, if it's a coffee house or whatever it is, where you can't do, everything cranked up, but you can do an acoustic set and make it work. That's really cool. So you have, so you're planning on doing more live stuff, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent.
Well, it was funky because many of the songs Joe and I sat down and did just the two of us, quietly in a back room, with Joe strumming on his guitar, just plugged into this little teeny tiny amp.
Yeah.
And so most of them that we wrote together were done in that manner. So they could be done in a minimal situation.
Yeah.
And then we just bring it up to make it for the whole band.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. It's good to have that kind of flexibility. And Joe, you said, so you're also handling production duties on everything?
Yep.
Yeah.
They're being very nice and letting me do it too.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I have. I got
you
some,
do good.
Thank you. I got some talent for doing it,
Yeah.
but I know what I know now. Whatever the next level is, I don't want it to sound like Def Leppard Hysteria.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's not us.
Yeah.
But if the guys are nice to me on the third CD, they're gonna let me do it again.
Now, you say third CD. Is that 3 counting the one as all sevens? Is that
Yes.
Okay.
We are redoing all sevens with current brother Heath playing bass.
okay? Gotcha.
So that way, collectively it's a band because the songs were that good. We refreshed them
yeah.
and okay, boom, here's another CD. But we already have
6.
3. There's 6 on the board, but we had 3 songs already working on until we found brother Heath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we had to get him on board, up to speed, and he's doing a hell of a job, man. Yeah.
yeah. Cool.
So that's kind of where we're at now, and here we are talking to you. Damn it, about time.
That's right. No, I really like the production. It's very very sort of stripped down. It's kind of it's minimal. There's not a lot of it doesn't sound like there's a lot of effect on anything. Like it sounds very live. And I think it goes with the production style that you use. It's sort of timeless in the sense that I would not, if you just played that for me and I didn't know that it was new.
Right.
If you just said, "Hey Matt, listen to this, tell me what you think," and I had no idea when it was recorded, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know when it was recorded. I wouldn't be able to tell you. It's got and I'm thinking specifically about, because if you were to pick, I don't know if you've chosen a single that you're trying to work or anything, but does it have to end this way? Do I have the title right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's, to my ears, that's the single. I think it's timeless in that it doesn't sound like it's of any particular era. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yes,
Yeah.
it does. Would you remember in the early 90s, a band from the South called Cry of Love?
I remember the name.
Okay, they had their big hit. They only had 2 albums, 2 different singers, but the big hit was called Peace Pipe.
I don't remember that.
The big hook in the song was "Burn down the sacred ground, tear that temple down."
Yes.
And the name.
Got it. Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Peace Pipe. That production, with what we're doing with stand-up audio, I kind of gauged it along that line.
Okay.
You could tell this is a guitar. This is a bass guitar. These are drums. Oh, there's some, versus being washed with a bunch of effects. Anyway,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. I like Def Leppard. I stopped at Pyromania.
Yeah.
I really loved High and Dry.
Oh yeah. Me too. Yeah.
But that was what I gauged things, was that from that band Cry of Love.
Okay. Yeah, early Def Leppard is kind of it's funny, people don't even know who've never gone back and listened to the early stuff, but the early Def Leppard, it sounds more like to me, I always thought it sounded kind of like AC/DC
Oh yeah.
in terms of production.
Absolutely.
And then of course with Hysteria, they really, now it's
Hysterical.
like you've got 15 tracks of vocals. It took them a year just to record the vocals for Hysteria. Did you know that? Like to get all the choruses and everything, it took
It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
But I mean, Mutt Lange used the studio as a tool.
Yes.
I can't deny genius where it is.
Oh, sure.
But it wasn't my flavor.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of things out there that aren't my flavor.
Right.
Within the way of the world. But again, I stopped at Pyromania. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
And I loved Joe Elliott's voice back then.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Is your production technique changed at all over the years? Because I assume you produced like with Pleasant Street Mafia. Did you produce all of that?
Yes. Yeah. I did everything. Again, for the PSM, the guys were very. They were very trustworthy to me because I tried to I go, guys, I promise you, I will not make you, to the best that I know how, not make you sound bad or be embarrassed 10 years later to hear yourself. Seriously.
Yeah.
Because if there's like mistakes or there's some going in and out of tune maybe a little bit to a point, do you want to hear that back again every time you play it or show it to someone? Oh, here comes that part. I'm going to cringe. They were nice to me in the same way nowadays. Both Brother Heath and Joe Cadret, they, much appreciated to them for giving me that, for trusting me, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I like to, that's a good way to think of it.
Sir.
You know, is this something that you're going to be happy with if you hear it 10 years from now?
Yeah.
Or are you going to go, oh, you know, so.
I think it's good.
Yeah.
I can't vouch for everyone in the band, but no one, the drummer did think that the bass could be a little bit fatter. And so I went back and you know, he was right.
Yeah.
Because when you hear something for the longest time, you start to hear things that aren't there. Because you're so concentrated. Yes,
Yeah.
half hour. Go outdoors, listening to traffic or the whatever is outdoors. Listen to the Flosset Run.
Yep.
Just to clear your head and go back to it. If you do production work too?
I have, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
then
not-
you know. All
yeah.
right, I'm preaching to the choir. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Sometimes you have to just go and then come back to it with a fresh set of ears, basically.
Well,
Yeah.
one of the secrets to it is Joe brings us basically a demo CD. This is what I've got so far, guys. We go and sit in somebody's car and listen to it because we want to hear how it sounds on the car speakers rather than the $200 or $300 studio speakers. No, we want to hear it in the car on those speakers, see how it sounds to the average person driving along listening to the tune.
Exactly.
And that's where we get some of these ideas like, the bass needs to be a little fatter, or this needs to happen here. Oh, we're missing the stereo. I remember the first time we were missing the stereo on it. So,
That is the true test because that's how most people listen when they listen to music.
Well, not
in
you.
their cars.
I mean, look at you. What?
But
Telling you.
so now is the CD already out? Or
The music is done. The artwork's taking longer.
okay.
We got to get a few more pictures before we can put that out there. The cover is. When I sent you the tunes, did they have an orange like tube, like a guitar amplifier tube on it or anything like that?
No.
Any picture?
No.
Okay. All right. So it was before that. I got to get you a hard copy.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah.
Yep.
That'd be great. Yeah. Are you guys going to do, because obviously, and this is a conversation that all the musical guests who come on the show, we talk about this, are you planning to press, do a run of CDs, or are you just going to do, a few to give out, but mainly market the music online, or have you figured that part out yet? Because we live in an era where, and again, it's funny, when we were kids, it was simple, right? Every artist, make an album or an EP, usually an album. And then, of course, that was all there was physical media. We didn't have digital media then. And, and then they go out on tour and, it was all very, there was a standard formula. Now you can do whatever you want because of the internet. You can put out a full album. You can put out an EP. You can put out a single at a time. You can just release it digitally. You can do CDs. Hell, cassettes are back. I go on Bandcamp. And I see, it's mostly just really like super indie, trendy young artists, but they're actually doing cassettes. I'm like, oh my God, which was funny to me the first time I realized it because I used to play in a band called The Jinxed, and we had a running joke in the band and this was like 10 years ago, we had a running joke in the band that we were going to release a single. And then a few years ago, I'm on Bandcamp and I see people are putting out singles. Like, oh my God, I guess some people need that tape hiss.
Yeah.
That's what we were all...
LPs are back too.
Oh yeah, well they never really went away.
They never really went away, but
yeah.
Two of my daughters recently have gotten record players, and so they're having fun with that.
Nice, yeah. Nothing beats the sound of vinyl.
Oh no,
the warmth of it, and
that's what we were all against was tape hiss.
Yeah.
That's why digital came along. We can actually put out something and not have
Right.
in the background.
Yeah.
And to get with yes, there's so many ways to distribute music out there. I am not a fan of digital streaming. Everyone that does it is getting ripped off. I don't believe that, like you can get 1 million plays of something. Oh yeah, you get $500. Totally wrong in my book.
So you're talking about like Spotify?
Yes, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
the digital services. Yeah.
I'm not a fan of it. Other people, Ben might even have it on his phone if you do, but I just I don't believe in it. So I'm a fan of hard copies. I want to look at some artwork.
Yeah.
I might want to even spend the money just to have a vinyl to look at.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for that.
And if you're really into an artist too, it's fun to read the liner notes and everything when you first open it up.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt. So you're going to be, so obviously you're definitely doing hard copies then.
Yes.
When it comes out. And then, but I mean, will you?
We're talking about doing download cards too.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Yeah.
Because that you can actually give somebody the card and you can give them the artwork with, you can make that part of the package that comes with the card.
Right.
So they could get the album artwork,
Yep.
the pictures and everything, but just with the card. And then if they want to, so if they want to download it instead of having to have a CD player, they've got it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that makes sense. We've got the guys from Stand Up Audio here.
Yeah.
And let's see. So how many songs are, when you do play out? I mean, are you playing stuff only from this band, or because you've both been in other bands, obviously? So do any of those songs come with you into this project?
Well, right now we're just when we've played out, we just played our own songs from this disc.
Yeah.
And when we go play out again, we've been talking about maybe throwing in one cover, just to give people a flavor of what some of the other stuff is that we do.
Yeah.
Because all of us are also in cover bands.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What do you want to mention what those bands are? Probably some names people would know around here.
I'm in Talking Smack.
I've heard of Talking Smack. Yeah.
We're out of the Sunapee region.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm part of the band called The Fuzzbox.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember looking at a picture of the Fuzzbox and thinking, wow, this is like a high school reunion looking at this picture, because I see Tom Sarabia.
Oh, yes.
One of my best friends in high school, and Kurt Ekstrom in the picture. And I was like, I'll be damned. And Kurt and I were good friends as well.
That was Concord High.
Yeah.
I thought you went to Pembroke.
No.
See, I went to Pembroke.
Didn't you go to Concord High at one point?
No. No, I did go to Voke.
Did you go to?
I went to Voke
at
Concord.
That's
for 1 year.
Yes, that's why I remember you.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Did you go to Rundlet?
No,
you didn't. Okay. No. All right. So I remember you from when you were at Voke. So would you go there? I feel like I would see you around a lot. Were you there?
My friend, we probably had run in the same circles. If you were playing bass and stuff like that, we had to have known or met each other through somewhere. Through the local Strings of Things store.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Yep. I remember the
what?
The fires.
Oh, yeah.
That place,
get it before it burns sale.
Yeah. That place had the worst luck.
Yep.
How many? Was it 2 or 3? It
was 2.
That they had. Was it only 2?
2, I believe.
Okay.
Do you remember Merv Barton?
Merv Burton.
Barton.
Bart. Are you sure?
Yep, positive Bart. Yeah, he was my guitar teacher for like a year.
Okay, I don't know why I thought it was Burton, but I remember him. Yeah, you don't meet many Mervs. Yes,
no, you don't.
He was my guitar, because I switched to bass, but I started on guitar. He was my guitar teacher as well. Yep. Yeah,
knowing what I know now, one of the worst guitar teachers I ever had.
Really?
No, I mean I still have the book. How many ways to play a harmonic minor scale, and I don't even know how to play a chord yet. And I don't even know how to hold a pick and all that stuff. I'm learning. He has written out for me the solo by Queensryche, Child of Fire.
Yes, I remember him writing out solos. Yeah.
And I'm going, I don't even know the song, and you want me to. So it basically took me like 4 years of being a kid going, wow, this is not turning out pretty good. I think I'll just go home and learn how to play with records. So Leonard Skinner's Second Helping was my savior. I learned how to play a guitar by doing that record. Oh, and Merv Barton told me not to like Kiss because they weren't very good.
Well, there's a lot of snobs out there. Okay, but now, so all these years, so I thought it was Burton. Now I understand why I could never find him online. But when I look for Merv Barton, guess what?
Ba-boom,
I find him immediately.
Yeah.
I'll be damned. I had his last name wrong this whole time.
You do know the story behind him where he could have been?
All I remember when he left because he was going to play in a band and they were going to be going on tour. And I was just a kid, so the details are fuzzy. And then so he was replaced by another guy whose name, if I remember it correctly, and you've shown me I don't always remember names correctly, I think his name was Todd Leclerc or Leclerc. Do you know Todd?
Todd Bowie?
Could have been.
Okay.
But so I'm really fuzzy on what ended up happening with Merv.
Right, I'll give you the quick story for all those who are listening and watching anyway. This through 10 different sources, I'm going to narrow it down.
Okay.
Merv Barton, good guy and everything. I just recently ran into him not too long ago. It was kind of interesting to see your old guitar teacher. Anyway, he was supposed to be where Zakk Wylde is.
No kidding.
He went to try out for after Jakey Lee left. He went to try out for Ozzy's band in New York City. Sharon Osbourne called Strings and Things in Fisherville Road in Pennacook, out of all places, looking for Merv, because Merv had supposedly submitted a tape that got to Quiet Riot, because Quiet Riot played the Capitol Center for the Arts, was the Concord Theater.
Concord
Theater at the time.
Yeah.
And the tape and the band loved it, and they just gave it to Sharon. Somehow it got to Sharon, I guess. And she called Strings and Things looking for Merv. Set up an audition. He went to New York. But I guess he never made it to the audition. I think he hooked up with a chick, the story goes.
Wow.
And so he could have been where Zakk Wylde is. And do you know what that would have done for, I'm going to say this, the Concord scene, if there ever was one? So there you go, for all those out there, and who knows where you land.
I'll be damned. Well,
yeah, man.
I just found him on Facebook. See, all this time I thought it was Burton, and it was Barton. And this is definitely the guy, because we have, let's see, Brian J. Martin is a mutual friend. Xander Carlson is a mutual friend. It's the same guy. I'll be damned.
Well, did you friend him yet?
No.
Oh, you should.
Should I wait? Should I give it a couple of weeks, or is he gonna hear this and be mad?
Be a lurker. No, man. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. But from like 10 different people, that's all right. That's supposedly the story.
All right, I went ahead and sent him a friend request. He won't remember me. I know that. I'd be very shocked, because I think I only had him for a teacher for maybe a few months, and then he was off to do what he did, and then he was out and Todd was in, and I don't think I lasted very long with Todd either, because like I said, I ended up switching to bass, because my thing was, and other bass players hate it when I say this, but when I picked up a bass, it was like, because I was a lazy kid, and I hate this about myself, but I can look back and objectively say I was lazy, and I was one of those lazy in the way that if I wasn't good at something right away, I would get frustrated and discouraged and very often give up on it. Mm-hmm. So when I picked up a bass, it was like 2 less strings and I don't have to know any chords. I think I found my instrument. Now, so I became a bass player out of laziness, and other bass players hate it when I say that. And I completely understand why. I would be offended if I were other bass players and I heard me say that. But I did go on to play in a bunch of bands, which I wouldn't have been able to do on guitar. Maybe rhythm. I can play rhythm guitar okay. But not, I can't play leads.
We need bass players out there. There's too many guitar players.
Well, that's a good point. I'm glad you said that, Joe, because yes, anyway. that is true. I in fact, at one point in the scene, I was in 3 different active bands, and I was kind of a sought-after bass player, but I had no delusions. But it wasn't because I was good. I mean, I was okay. I was good enough, but it was because, I had a reputation for, like if I was in your band, you didn't have to worry about anything weird happening. I wasn't going to show up, stoned or coked out or drunk or anything, or, I would make it to practice. I would make it to the shows. I was always very easy to get along with, no ego nonsense or anything. So I had a good rep in that way. But that is true. I mean, and that is something I did. Actually, I realized that in high school because, everyone wants to play guitar. You get the glory, but not that many bass players and even fewer drummers.
I wanted to be in a band, and I just chose that instrument. It had nothing to do with being the pin man.
Yeah.
I liked being in a band with a group of people.
Yeah.
And that is what a lot of people miss. It grew into a competition, the one-upmanship, more than it is a collective unit.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's important to play your instrument well, but, I could go 10 different directions with that after. But it's important to play your instrument well. You have to be a team player and push the ball down the field.
Right.
Don't get me. Also, someone has to make decisions. Ultimately by one person. That may not be me, but it also has to be addressed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and that's where people can get bent out of shape.
Oh yeah.
And what I like about stand-up audio, that no one's a drunk that we know of. No, I mean, no one goes to therapy that we know of.
Yeah.
And we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
And what is the common goal? Well, it's a little bit of blind ambition right now.
Yeah.
So
yeah. No, I think that's great. I mean, that's so important. It all blurs together. No, it was 2 weeks ago, right? I had the guys from Chasing the Devil. Do you know them?
I saw the shirt. That's as far as I got.
Okay.
All right.
Kind of a super group in the area, really, because it's got
Manchester has a super group.
Well, basically, yeah, because it's got members of Purge DI, Castor, the Blackout Summers, Dogfight, and and who am I forgetting? Well, anyway,
I don't know them. Sorry, guys.
But we were.
All right.
I've heard of a couple of them.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but we were talking about we were talking about that thing about how it's so important to be in a band with people that you get along with, and it's easier. I think it's probably easier. I mean, I'm looking at it from the outside now because I don't currently play, but I get the impression that it's easier when you get a little bit older to do that, to find people to be in a band with where you people have kind of got the partying out of the way. Like when you're young and you're in a band and you end up with, all it takes is one guy in the band or girl, not to be sexist, who maybe doesn't have the maturity to do things like show up on time and,
right.
And make it to practice and whatever. So I feel like when you get a little older and everyone's a little more grown up, it's easier to work as a cohesive unit. Does that make sense?
Yes, and you've heard the stories of the girlfriends busting up bands. That is true. It's a jealousy thing.
Yep.
But I think what we have now, I can't thank the spouses enough for, yes, you need to go and do this. Mm-hmm. And they're probably saying, good, it gets them out of my hair.
Well, having a supportive partner, that's a big deal too. Absolutely. In anything that you do.
I lost 2 potential wives to music.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, yeah. One said is it going to be music or me?
Oh, wow.
Oh, boy.
Whoa.
Oh.
Yeah, that one threw me for a loop. But anyway, that was years ago. But yeah, I went looking for rings.
Wow.
I made it out alive. Didn't have to sign the prenup.
Wow. Right. No kidding.
I met my wife, Helen, at a gig.
Oh, no kidding.
With my old band.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So we met at a gig with, what band was that? Schrodinger's Cat.
Okay.
Was the band that was in at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Met her at a gig and we hit it off at the gig and then started dating about 2 weeks later. And that rest is history.
Excellent.
She's the wife of the party.
Good.
Not bad, buddy. Not bad.
And you're married now, Joe?
What?
Or?
No. Happily unattached.
Ah.
So
right.
she's still out there, and in the meantime, There has to be some rock and roll flavor going on, and if I seem to be the man for the job.
There you go.
So while everyone else can be single anyway, they're all married. They got to have at least one single guy in the band.
Right.
Someone's got to have some testosterone.
Might as well be you. That's good.
Like in the world, like I don't care what band or what type of music you do or what type of this or that, or what your politics are. Even Eddie Vedder, I don't care what he has to say. He wants a chick in his hotel room when he's done, married or not, and that goes for anyone out there. I don't care who you are. And that
Even Eddie Vedder, you think? I don't know. He seems like he probably goes back and just reads a book.
No, exactly. He can say whatever he wants. Doesn't. No.
I don't know. He's just
I don't care. Neil Young or any of those guys. Nah. They Bruce Springsteen. Yeah, I'm sure he can say he's married all he wants. Did you hear what Jesse, the guy from Jackal? Remember that little?
Oh, I do. Yeah.
I love how he said
Jesse Dupree.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
He goes something like, Bruce needs to shut the F up and sing Born to Run. And I'm like, yeah, yes, he does. Yep, that's why I'm not a big fan of Bruce, but if I'm at a concert, I don't want to hear what your ways are. Sing Born to Run.
know. I don't want to hear Born to Run.
I'm just... Yeah.
Again, I like Bruce, but
I want to hear the music.
I wouldn't pay money to go see it. It would have to be a given ticket myself.
Right, yeah. I like Bruce, but not enough to see him live. I don't know.
Not enough to pay to see him.
Not enough to pay to. Yeah, I'd go for free, but geez, right. I don't think it's still the case now because he's older. But he had a reputation for a long time of doing like 4-hour shows, and it's like like we were talking earlier about sometimes less is more. I mean, like when we were kids, that was his rep.
Yep.
He would do like 4.5 hours. It's like that's a little much.
That's a little much.
I mean, Kiss is my favorite band, but I don't want to sit through 4 hours of I'd be like, geez, after 2, I'd be like, yeah, I think I'm good. Maybe 2.5.
Yeah.
If they throw in some stuff they don't usually play, keep it interesting, but 4 hours of anybody, it'd be crazy.
No, that's too much.
Yeah. Now, with Fuzzbox, are you guys playing a lot?
I took a step back from it.
Oh, okay.
I'm honoring the gigs that I have now.
Yeah.
But it's really stand-up audio is kind of a focus because there's a little bit more on my plate.
Yeah.
Trying to line up for the next recording session, writing for the third album. I mean, we're already looking beyond that.
Yeah.
Dealing with management possibly. So we can actually just do gigs and not have to worry about that end.
Yeah. Where do you record? Do you have your own studio set up?
We have recorded at everywhere. I would say.
We recorded in a basement.
Yep.
We recorded at a music school. And our next venture is going to be another basement.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It's hard to get out of basements, man. Maybe that's the magic. Maybe that's the sound.
Maybe.
What do you have here, Matt? What's in this building?
Well,
got a good basement down there.
That's actually, if you go in the basement in this building, you end up in the downstairs kitchen of Margaritas.
That would be dangerous.
Are you hungry? No.
Yeah, and the only reason I know that is I went down there one day. I was leaving out the side door of the building now, and I was like, I'm just curious. I'm like a cat. I'm just curious. So I was like, what's down there? So I just kind of went down there, and I was like, oh, on the other side of that wall is Margaritas. I can hear dishes and stuff. Oh, okay. And then I came back up. Also, it's good to know what's in the basement in case, the missiles incoming.
Yeah, zombie apocalypse, you got to know where to go.
You want to know where to go, yeah. So you always want to know where the basement is. So definitely. Now, are you with Talking Smack? Do you guys play out a lot or?
Not a lot lately. We did up until COVID.
Yeah.
And then even after COVID, we were still playing out fairly regularly. This year, we've kind of taken it back. We're just doing a couple of gigs here and there.
Yeah.
And taking some time to just do, family stuff. And, we'll see what happens in the fall. We've already got things lined up through Halloween. I know that.
Oh, okay.
So
Do the other guys in the band, do they also have other projects that they're doing for music, or
not really.
no?
Not a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I know. Now, what in Fuzzbox? So you've got Tom and Kurt. Those guys are usually doing other stuff, right? Tom is in Balance, right? That Van Halen tribute.
Yeah, but no longer.
Oh, really?
No. Tom unfortunately has some hearing issues.
Oh no.
We tried Tom out for stand-up audio,
No kidding.
and it was nice to have the familiar face across the way playing bass guitar.
Yeah.
But he has some. It's not Meniere's disease. Is that what it is? Huey Lewis has it.
Oh yes.
Yes, I think it's Meniere's.
Sounds right.
He has that, unfortunately.
Oh damn.
So Tom is no longer in the Fuzz. So we have this guy named Gene who's been doing some dates, doing a great job. But again, stand-up audio is the focus.
Yeah,
and it's a craft, songwriting, and just coming up with your own stuff. We see what the future brings, man.
I have a Tom Sarabia story.
Oh, what's it?
And the reason this stands out. So Tom and I were really good friends in high school. The hardest I have ever laughed in my life happened with Tom, and that's why I haven't seen him in decades now. But he's very special to me because he is responsible for the hardest I've ever laughed in my life. And I'll tell you what happened. But I need to. I just feel just keep myself out of trouble more than anything. A disclaimer for anyone listening, especially you young people, do not do this, what I'm about to tell you. It was funny when we did it, but it was wrong. And do not ever do this.
Do not try this at home.
And even if you were to do this, you would get caught anyway, because today everyone can take video on their phones. But so Tom and I, we had a free period at high school, and Tom had a pickup truck that sat pretty high off the ground at the time. So we just got in his truck to go somewhere because we had the period off, and he wanted to go to the store or something. But we're driving around, so we're at Concord High School, so we're driving around in his truck in the neighborhood around Concord High, and he decides to start. So trash had been picked up that day, and at that time, everybody in that area, they had these big rubber barrels for the trash, big round rubber barrels. Tom starts running into the barrels with his truck. Like he'd get a little bit of speed going, so he'd hit a barrel and it would go flying. He'd hit it at just the right velocity, so the barrel would go flying down the street. And it was really funny. But the thing that made us laugh so hard, he and I almost peed ourselves. So we're doing this, and again, don't anybody ever do this. This is so wrong. It's not okay. We were. And I was look, for the most part I was a perfect angel, but on this day, and I wasn't I wasn't the one driving. I was an innocent bystander. I was there. He was in control. It was his truck. But the thing was, so we hit a bunch of these barrels. A couple of them got stuck under his bumper. We had to stop and pull them out. But the last one that we hit, it's on the sidewalk. We had no idea what was about to happen. For whatever reason, this one barrel had not been emptied, and it was full.
Oh, no.
And we hit that barrel, and trash. This is so wrong. I feel so terrible, but it was so funny because we didn't expect it. It was a surprise element. We hit the barrel, and trash flies everywhere all over this lawn. And I've never laughed to this day, I have not laughed that hard in my life. And then we went back to school and parked the truck and never got in trouble for it. Now, again, if you did that today, someone would catch it. Everybody's got those Ring cameras on there, and everything. But, it was just an amazing moment though, because we hit that barrel and we had no idea. And there's trash everywhere. And it was
and some old lady sitting out there now listening going, oh, now I know.
Probably, yeah. And they're going to get revenge on me. I'm going to be hearing from her and we're going to hear from Merv Barton about today's show. It's all going to come back. But anyway, so that's my Tom Sarabia, which is, and to this day, I don't know whether it's Sarabia or Sarabia because I've said it both ways in the same conversation, just like high school. And he never clarified, so which way to say his name.
At one time, I called him Sarabia.
Yeah, Sarabia.
That was wrong. I was corrected instantly.
Yes,
All
yes.
right, fine, Tom.
Okay.
Actually, what was the movie theater that everyone went to? It was up on the Heights. Saxon, was it?
I have no.
Merrimack, Saxon.
I know the theater you're talking about. I
Yeah.
can picture it, but I have no recollection of what it was called because I think it had changed names a few times.
Okay, all right. Then you would appreciate this. Us high school kids that were Pembroke.
Yeah.
Well, we would make a big loop, and we found out that one of our best friends was on a date at the movies.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
High school kids, losers. We were pissed because he was on a date,
Yeah.
and we weren't. So we're gonna go to the movie theater and we're gonna heckle him.
Yeah.
Just being kids.
Yeah.
So there we are. We park. We're waiting for the movie to get out. Here comes a friend of ours in a huge GMC truck with a plow frame on the front. And we're all like waving, going, hey, that's our buddy Rick. Well, he didn't see us for whatever reason. So we were like, all right. We're still waiting for the movie to come out. And we're looking out in the parking lot. Well, he's going in and out around the cars, and we're going, the hell's this guy doing? Our friend Rick, what's he doing?
Yeah.
Well, he finally looks like he parks, and he does for like a second. Then he drives, and he gets behind this Volkswagen Rabbit, and he pushes the car while it's parked 2 parking spots ahead, backs up, goes off to another side, pushes another car into another parking space, goes on the other side, and he rearranged the parking lot by 6, 7 different cars. And now they all have an indent on the back.
Wow.
So then he's done this before because we eventually got to him. And what the hell are you doing? He says, oh, no, I do this for kicks. And he watches all the people come out and look for their car.
Wow.
Man.
Yeah, because we're...
What a bizarre thing to do.
Well, the thing is, though, he says, oh, yeah, I do
Wow.
this all the time.
Wow.
Hands in the air. I noticed I didn't
man.
say the last name.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to music. All right, where are we at? Where are we at?
I'll be damned. That's but that's another example of something you couldn't do today. You'd be caught instantly.
Oops.
Wow. Scott Robinson in the chat room says the wife and I are going to see the Desert Eagles Friday night. 2 members from Extreme started the band. It's an Eagles tribute band. Oh, that's interesting. I think I've heard of them actually. The Desert Eagles.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, yeah. JPV is in the chat room and says it's sad about Huey Lewis, such a great singer and talented man. Yeah, so Tom has what he has, huh?
Some similar to it,
Yeah.
anyway. But yeah, he can't go into like a Buffalo Wild Wings or something like that. He just all the echo and the noise around. He sits and he has to be really quiet, and he can't, like the clanking of a dish. It'll drive him into pain. He says, so he
God.
can't go to places like that. Yeah.
Ugh.
Because I know I saw a news story about on one of those shows, might have been Inside Edition or with Huey Lewis, where they were explaining that they were in the middle, or I think there's video of it. They were in the middle of a show, Huey Lewis on the news, and all of a sudden he starts singing wildly off key, and everyone's like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And it was because all of a sudden he couldn't hear, or everything sounded very strange to him. He couldn't hear it the way. And apparently that's why their the EP that they put out called Weather, it was supposed to be a full album, and I think it only ended up being an EP because that was the most they could do, because he just can't do it because he's not hearing anything correctly, or he is, but only sporadically.
Yeah.
Sometimes he can hear okay, and other times, and he never knows when it's going to get wonky. So, and I don't think there's any cure for it or even treatment, right? Has Tom told you if there's anything they can do for him?
No, I don't know enough about it.
Yeah.
But it's nothing you can do pills with or injections or surgery that I know of.
Yeah.
I couldn't talk intelligently about it.
Yeah. That's too bad. That's heartbreaking to hear. Wow. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, we've got the guys from Stand Up Audio here with us.
Yes.
And two of the guys, one half of the band,
2/4
Stand Up Audio.
90 pounds.
Easy G is in the chat room, and Easy G has a question, and he asks all our musical guests this: have you guys ever played in Canada?
Nope, I haven't.
I have not either.
Do you plan to?
If they'll have us.
Yeah, sure.
Easy G is always he's fascinated by bands playing in Canada.
Hey, does he like the song too? There, that. Does it have to end this way tune?
I'm sure he does.
Oh, all right.
I'll tell you. Sometimes now he does get picky. Sometimes he doesn't like some of the things that I play on the radio, but I think he gets upset when I play things with loud, distorted guitars. He doesn't like the metal. Sometimes he'll be complaining in the chat room. He'll say, "Oh, this is awful."
Oh, does this? Oh, so he's on frequently.
He's he used to be on once a week. He was our entertainment reporter.
Oh, cool.
But he had to take a break. But yeah, are you familiar with Amanda McCarthy?
No.
Well, if you ever hear her name, just be aware that Easy G is responsible for all of her success and her notoriety. Katie Dobbins, also a very popular singer-songwriter. And Eric is like this Svengali. He gets his hooks in you and he makes you famous. But
all right, Easy, let's go to work, man. No.
I don't know if he'd be as into you guys. You guys might be a bit male for him. He likes to work with women. He likes.
Can't blame the guy there.
Yeah, he likes to work with the ladies, and So I don't know, but I mean, he is in the chat room. I'm sure he'll volunteer his services if you'll have him, and he would be interested in that. But I think he's had his hands a bit full lately. Right. So you guys so you don't have any shows coming up at the moment, or you're going to be booking?
Mention that. There is a mysterious place from the worldwide area of Manchester that they probably don't know about, but there is a place in this town called Pittsfield.
Oh,
not saying back to Pittsfield, but the town Pittsfield. There's a place called the Hen House, and it's a couple, and literally it's an old hen house. And a couple own it. The man, the man of what do they call that? Of the manor, Lord of the Manor.
Lord of the Manor.
Lord of the Manor. Steve Dross is his name.
Okay.
And he runs sound, and he likes it loud, which is a good thing. But it's a venue where you can go play all types of covers, play your music, and it's a good Sunday out. And he only does it on Sunday and every other. But this coming Sunday, it actually falls on. And Stand Up Audio is thinking about possibly we can all get together and play some tunes.
Oh, very cool. Yeah. Very cool.
Yep.
But that's not confirmed yet?
We haven't heard from Brother Heath yet. So we'll see what happens anyway. Actually, Matt, this would be a good time for you to actually come out and venture out, maybe.
Now, you never know. You never know.
Do you still drink or?
Rarely.
Oh, what happened?
Oh, no.
No.
I'm not at liberty to say.
Well, it's funny. No,
I have this ankle bracelet on.
I did most of my drinking in high school with Tom Sarabia, and that actually is true as well. That literally is true because Tom would have at his house. His father would have these. You may have been to one or two. Did you ever go to any of the big parties? His dad would.
Probably have.
His dad would let the high school kids drink as long as they didn't drive home?
But I probably have.
Yeah. Statute of limitations is long past, so yeah.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, I was so shy that I would go to these, again, kids, do not do this. But yeah, I would go to these parties and I would
kids don't.
I just feel I just don't want to get myself in any trouble. And
drink, kids, drink. Damn it.
I don't want anyone saying, well,
damn kids learn how to drink.
That Matt Connarton, he's a bad influence.
Your sobriety is freaking us out, man. Get on the sauce.
No, that was most of my drinking. It really is true, actually. Most of my drinking was in high school. It was at the parties that Tom's dad would throw, or it was senior year. I had a 21-year-old girlfriend who had her own apartment who was willing to purchase And I became very popular senior year for some reason,
Friends
coincidentally.
you never knew you had.
Now, and you know, correlation is not causation, but yeah. So I would drink then, but honestly, and this is true. I don't say this to be funny. This really is true. Once I turned 21, it didn't seem to appeal to me anymore. It was like I guess before I was 21, I felt like, ooh, I'm getting away with something. Ooh,
yes.
I'm bad, right? And then once I was 21, it was like, eh. And I mean, and I'm Irish and German, so in theory, I should be drunk and angry, but I'm neither. I mean, I get angry sometimes, usually about politics or whatever, but I'm not like an angry guy. And I rarely drink, once in a great while. And I'm silly when I do drink. I'm a silly drunk,
Well,
but
sometimes they cancel each other out, you know.
yeah. But I was never angry or rambunctious. But yeah, on my 21st birthday, I don't think I even did anything. Like I didn't go out to a bar or anything. It was just like, all right, I'm legal now, whatever.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, Jenny says in the chat, it's so very rare that Matt has anything. He's adorable. Oh, he's adorable after one drink. LOL. Yeah, because I get silly. I get very silly. Takes very little. So how about you guys?
A cheap date.
You guys drinkers?
What? I mean, I enjoy whiskey as much as the next person, but
there you go.
I have it under control.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
I don't think about it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's me.
How about you, Ben?
Yeah, I've had my fair share of it, but
Yeah.
lately it's just been very little, very little.
Yeah. Just as well. Well, I'll live longer. I didn't know until what was it, maybe 6 months ago, there was that report that came out about you know how for many years they were talking about how if you have red wine in moderation, it can be good for your heart. And then there was some new research that showed that that's probably actually not true, and that it actually raises your risk of cancer. And I was like, whoa, I never knew that alcohol raises your cancer risk. That was completely new to me.
Red wine or alcohol in general?
Alcohol in general.
Oh.
Yeah, which I never knew. Well,
it's funky. You can look at any study and anybody can make anything say what they want it to say. You can say, oh, this is good for your heart, but they don't say that it'll also destroy your kidneys.
Right.
You know, it's good for your heart, but it'll destroy your kidneys. It'll give you seizures, but, you know, it's also good for your liver, or not good for your liver. But
And it makes you a better dancer.
yeah, at least in your own mind.
Mm-hmm.
A legend in his own mind.
There's nothing that makes me a better dancer.
Do 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 do.
You guys remember, I forget if it was comedian or what was the other big, Eddie Murphy. He had a couple of, when he did stand up in the 80s, he had that bit where he did his impression of how a white person dances, and it's literally how I dance. So it's very embarrassing.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that in audiences before too.
You probably have. It's very very embarrassing. Oh, I see. Chris H Space is in the Facebook live chat. Another very talented musician.
Is he from Manchester too? That I don't know of. Really? See again, Manchester.
So you probably don't know him. Yeah.
But I can understand, because Manchester and the Concord area are obviously two different animals, and I can say that when you go into Concord World, you have too many jam bands, too much hippy dippy stuff.
There are a lot of jam bands there. You're right, actually.
It's just saturated with it. You have the same 16 people that make up the same 20 bands. What band is it this week? I mean, it's from the area.
Switch one member and you call it a different band.
Yeah.
And then you're playing whatever venue. You know. But Manchester, it seems like everyone's still stuck in Godsmack world, and I'm going like, oh, for F's sake, you know, and it's like whip-de-doo. Everyone's trying to out-metal everyone else. That's all I've ever gotten, you know. So is there a country bar in town? I would like to go see.
Yes.
No.
There is.
No. Country music, like hardcore country music.
I don't know if they play.
Not new country.
Because they have the bonfire, but that's probably more new.
No, I want to see like new country, like Merle Haggard and George Jones and stuff like that.
Oh.
See, I mean, that's...
I don't know where you would go. You might have to, ironically, you might have to go north for that. You might have to go up to the North Country.
Yeah. You go North Country up in New Hampshire, you can find that. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
I'm sure there's some line dancing up in Coos County there, right?
Yep. Well, I mean, it's not line dancing. It's actually the music itself. Anyway,
Oh,
you
yeah, that's
don't
true.
have to line dance.
That's true. Actually, line dancing would be more associated with New Country, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But no, that's what like Manchester versus Concord. It always seems to be that way, and not that there's any rivalry. It's just two different areas. You go into Concord, you'll hear more major keys. You come to Manchester, it's all minor and chug.
There's a lot of that.
Yes, there is.
There's a lot of that. I never liked Godsmack. You know what my problem with Godsmack is? I don't like Sully's vocals. I never liked Sully's vocals.
It reminds me of Alice in Chains. It does. For me, it does.
See, I like Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
But
I do
yeah,
too.
I never liked. We used to in one of the bands I was in, My Life Crisis. We used to cover a Godsmack song. I can't even remember what it was called. And I liked playing it, and I liked the way our singer sang it, but I never liked the way Sully sang it. I just, I don't know. I just don't think his vocals are very good.
I'm not a fan. I never owned any of his stuff. I hear enough of it.
Yeah.
A side note, in the cover band, people has come up to us and said, you have to play these songs. And it was Godsmack. It was Velvet Revolver, whatever it was of the time. Well, I have told people going, well, if you want to hear that, go out to your car, turn on Cock 101, and you will hear all of that within 10 minutes. Come back in, and you'll hear a song in a major key.
Right.
So, to Ben's credit also, when he was in Schrodinger's Cat, and obviously the Fuzz, we wouldn't play what every other band played.
Yeah.
Because you go out and you hear everyone else's set list.
Yeah.
I know every band does 8 now. They do 8, 6, 7, 5, 309. It's just like every band does the same stuff. And there's more than one classic rock and roll tune-up. But everyone has Tush. Everyone has Roadhouse Blues. Everyone has, for the classic rock world, yes, those songs are there.
A friend of ours wrote a song called "Give Me Three Stairways to the Heart of Gold,"
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yes.
and it was because he had been playing in bands. I think he played in his first paying band the year I was born. So
Yeah.
and
Wow.
yeah, so it's,
If you played a Neil Young song, a Skinner tune, a Led Zeppelin song,
and that was it. That was what his song was about. It was just, give me 3 stairways to the heart of gold. I'll play these songs till I'm crusty and old.
I'll have a gig each week till the place gets sold.
Oh yeah, I'll have a gig
Yep.
each week till the place gets sold.
Yep. She burnt all my records, or no, she broke all my records. Something, and then the needle in, the damage done.
Oh,
so
wow.
I mean, he was crafty with that one
He was
particular song.
very, very crafty.
Is that
with it.
available online anywhere?
No.
That song?
Oh, Steve, no.
Oh, man. I'd like to hear that. That's too bad. Oh, Mustang Sally. That's another one, too. All the cover bands have to play.
I actually I've never heard that before.
What?
I have literally said I've never heard it before.
Oh, really?
Like,
Yeah.
like everyone I go, and I'll just shrug and going on.
I don't know. I've never heard of it.
Don't know. What do you want us to do?
Oh, wow. That's funny.
And it works.
And the
Or
look on people's faces.
Yeah, I bet.
if you want to request that song, I say you can write it on the back of a $100 bill.
Yeah, there you go. That's smart. Anyone ever do it?
What? Of course not.
No.
Well, for the drunks we play for, no.
Yeah.
That's why we want to play our own stuff. That's why
Yeah.
it's stand-up audio, and we're going, all right, let's go this avenue
Let's play
now.
these tunes because this is what we like. We wrote it. It's got the influences that we want to have in it.
Yeah.
It's got the sound that we want. It's got the lyrics that we wrote. Let's play it.